One of the challenges holding up a lot of women when trying to get on the road is how to make money. In this video, I talk with Kristin Holden of Where the Road Forks, who negotiated with her company to take her corporate position remote. Then she built up her Instagram account while on the road. Kristin is now transitioning again from her corporate job to Instagram full-time and talks about how she's done that. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you might recognize Kristin from her wildly popular van tour, which actually helped boost her Instagram in the beginning.
I've been working remotely since I hit the road in June of 2019. I actually had a meeting with my boss maybe 4 months before hitting the road and came to her with a proposal that I put together and presented the idea of working remote and kind of listed out the reasons why I think I was capable of it. I showed the tasks that I am the most responsible for and how everything I do is electronic. And I convinced my boss to let me work remote. And if you're interested in learning more about how I put that together, I actually sell that on my website, wheretheroadforks.net. It's only $15. So it's a little template to help you because I didn't see anything like that. I do think times have changed a little bit now with COVID. It's kind of been like somewhat of a blessing in disguise for remote work, at least. A lot more people are able to find remote jobs. Something that really helped me on the road is being able to prioritize. And for the first year and a half, I was part-time. And so I was only working 4 hours a day, which was great. I had a lot more of my day to kind of explore, do whatever. Once I went back to full-time, I think I struggled a bit more with the time management because I felt like I'm sitting here for 8 to 9 hours a day. I'm frustrated. I want to get out into the world. So I think being able to have a morning routine, such as I wake up, I walk the dogs, I make my coffee, and then I sit down. And for myself, I evaluate like my personal finances and budgets every single morning. And then I start working. It's kind of like my segue into working to get me in the right mindset. Nice. So I think being able to have a routine built to help you focus with work is going to be super important. And as far as finding remote jobs, I do think they are way more available now, like more than ever. And if they're not, I would just simply ask if that's something they would be open to. It's pretty cool to see the mindset of a lot of employers changing right now.
So helpful. What was your job?
So I have been an internal auditor. If you're not familiar with what auditing is, because most people hear that and they're like, don't come for me and my taxes. That's not the type of auditing that I do. So basically what I was doing is the financial analysts and accountants within my one company, I would make sure that they're following the procedures that they've put in place to help mitigate the risk of fraud or financial errors that could impact the financial statements. And so that's what I was doing. And I was lucky that my company provides most of the equipment that I need, such as like my computer, my mouse, in order to help me. Most accounting, financial focused people need multiple screens to do their job. So I bought a second spare monitor, which really helps. So I have 2 monitors going at all times, and mine's portable, so it's almost as thin as my laptop, and it fits in my backpack and everything. So I kind of have a backpack full of all of the wires and all the things I need that I can take in and out of coffee shops. And it sets up easily on a regular, 2-person table. So that's kind of what my setup was, and it was easy enough. I will say something that has been beneficial is having a Jackery or some type of external battery that you can bring with you to power. So for example, sometimes I will be at a Starbucks or just a coffee shop in general that may not have access to plugins. And if that's the case, and I still feel like being in a public setting will help me focus better, I'll just run out and grab my Jackery and plug there, and then I've got 8 hours easily on a full Jackery to work on. So those can be pricey, but it's really helpful for me. Also, I can go to a park and sit up at a park bench and work there too.
That's
So
great. What do you need as far as connectivity?
I just use my hotspot on my phone. I have unlimited data, and then I think it's 20 gigabytes of hotspot data, and then it kind of throttles it. I've never really had too much issues, unless it's just that I don't have cell signal. One thing I did go ahead and do to help myself is I bought a Skyroam hotspot. I bought a refurbished one, so it was $50 for that. And the cool thing about the Skyroams is you can just buy the data as you need it. So for example, the other day, where I'm currently out in Florida, it was, I don't know why, but my Verizon wasn't working. Well, the Skyroam works off of AT&T. So I was like, you know what? I need to get some work done. I'm just going to go ahead and buy a gigabyte of data and work on that for the day. And it worked just fine. So it's good to have a backup option. And that's why I really like the Skyroam, because I don't have to pay a monthly plan fee or anything. It's just you buy the hotspot and then you pay as you go. You can do a monthly plan, but I just buy as I go.
Kristin, you've become a pretty successful Instagram influencer. What are the basic steps to doing that?
I get this question often, where a lot of people are, how did you get there? And in the beginning, when I first hit the road, I was posting very consistently. Also, I got super lucky. Honestly, your video helped launch my Instagram. Like,
good. Yay.
Was it like 2.5 million views?
Yes.
And I got, I would say, easily 6,000 to 8,000 followers just from that video.
Good.
So that really helped launch me. I also reached out to a local news station in my hometown, and they featured me on the news. That also really helped me as well. And then I tag a lot of like these repost accounts, which those can be a little controversial, because unless most of them don't ask for permission, and so sometimes they steal creators things. So they're not always the best, but that is what helped me in the beginning. I've never paid for someone to repost. I feel like that's inauthentic, and that is another thing, is I try to be very authentic with my content. I very much try to show the good with the bad, because I'm just very upfront. I don't want people to think that living on the road is just all sunshine and rainbows and perfect all the time. It is a very dreamy life, but it is not always so dreamy. So I still have life happening.
Have you reached out to brands specifically?
Yes. The summer of 2020, my van build was being done. COVID was happening, and I couldn't walk because I hurt my ankle. So I took a course from this girl, and it's called Network to Net Worth. And the whole course is centered around learning how to kind of pitch to brands, how to read contracts, knowing how to determine what your worth is. And I learned so much from that course. And if you're ever interested in it, anyone listening, send me a message and I can send you information about the course. But that was a game changer for me. And so I learned how to pitch to brands. And I only pitch to brands that I actually use. Occasionally, I will get a brand reach out to me that I might not use consistently. Like here recently, I did an ad with a beer company that I've had their beer, but I'm not like a huge beer drinker, but I know a lot of my audience is. So it was still relatable. So I'm also mindful about that. Is this something that people would actually be interested in? But my favorite brand that I get to work with is Backcountry, and luckily they reached out to me. So that has been an amazing relationship that I've been able to build with them. And I may be jumping the gun here, but I actually just got laid off from my job. So I plan on diving full time into content creation. So that will be my job moving forward.
That's great. Do you have any other tips for women who want to create on Instagram?
Do your research on what your niche is. So Instagram is very specific in how your audience is defined. And actually right now, I think I'm kind of going through a rebranding. So I've been losing a lot of followers, but I know that I will gain back that. So, and it's not always about the following. But so let's say that you think your niche is travel. That's too broad. Are you an international traveler? Are you a, van lifer, RVer? What is your niche within travel? But then you got to niche down again. So for a while, my niche was that I'm a solo female van lifer. And that is still very accurate. But now I've come out and I am embracing my sexuality a lot. I'm being more vocal about it. And so now I would say I'm kind of niching into that like demographic a little bit more. So it's all just like niching down as like much as you can and to find your audience. And because then people will relate more to you, therefore they're going to engage more with you and you'll have a more authentic connection with your audience.
Thanks to Kristin for taking the time to share all this great information. Kristin is such a great example of intentionally creating a life that works for you. If you found this video helpful, please share it. And if you'd like to see more van and rig tours, van life tips, and other information to help women get on the road, hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. I do appreciate your thoughtful comments. And if you'd like to join in deeper conversation, join our Facebook group, Gal Adventurers. This is Joni with the Galavan. Enjoy your journey.